everybody, and happy Halloween. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching my video. Even though I know this video is not a traditional one, but I just wanted to do this because I am a huge fan of October and Halloween. Horror movies are my absolute favorite type movies. That's my absolute favorite genre. And I wanted to take the time to give a little bit of credit to the looks that horror movies produce. Because even though a horror movie is not something you traditionally look at and say, oh my gosh, that is a sleigh, or that look is iconic. Sometimes it produces some of the most iconic looks in history. So today I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite looks from horror movies. Some of them are more traditional beauty type looks, and some of them are just iconic looks, okay? So to kick this video off, I have to start it with Freddy Krueger. And like I said, some of the looks are gonna be beauty looks, and some of the looks are gonna be non-beauty related. Because you know, if you look at Freddy Krueger, nobody's gonna look at him and say, oh my gosh, he is so beautiful. You know, but you have to give it up to the makeup department and the wardrobe department for creating that look. If you see a striped sweater, period, that is automatically going to remind you of Freddy Krueger. And it's something about that sweater, the colors, the hat, the skin, it just all is so scary, and I love it so much. Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street, those are some of my favorite horror movies growing up, and I think that look is just absolutely iconic. And when I look at how much detail went into his character, it's just really cool. And I love Freddy Krueger, and I love how they made his skin look like that. I love his hands with the knives. It's just everything. Love Freddy Krueger. Definitely an iconic look. Next, I have to talk about Drew Barrymore in Scream. And I'm just gonna say that I love that look, but that is one of my absolute favorite movie openings ever. The way that that movie opened is just so nostalgic and iconic, and it really set the precedence for slasher films throughout the 90s and the 2000s. I mean, the way that they opened it up and had us on the edge of our seats, and the way that she was taken out of here, I love that scene. When I was younger, I would just watch that part on rewind because it was just that creepy to me. She was making popcorn, she had the phone, it was the bob, it was the sweater. I just love that look, and it is so 90s. I mean, even down to her lipstick. So that is absolutely one of my favorite scenes and favorite looks from any horror movie ever. If you put that on and you have that phone in your hand, automatically, if you've seen Scream, you're going to know that that look is from that scene. And it's so crazy because that scene was less than 15 minutes, but it is one of the best scenes out of the entire Scream series. So I just love that so much. I love that look. Drew Barrymore is one of my favorites. She is the 90s, so I have to give it up for her for playing that role. So the next one that I have here is a little bit creepy, so if you're scared of clowns, you can go ahead and click out, but I have to talk about it. I have to talk about Pennywise from It. Not the original It, but the newer one from the new updated versions. Oh my gosh, the makeup was so creepy. His skin was so crackly like, and then looking at his eyebrows and then his teeth and just the overall outfit and how it looked historical. It just was creepy looking. But you know what? I loved it. I loved that look. I loved the attention to details. I love the red lines that are symmetrical going down to connect to his mouth. I just think the makeup team and the wardrobe team did such a good job on his look, and he just was scary. Just was scary. If I saw him anywhere, I would be scared. If I saw him in my dreams, outside, anywhere, that thing is scary. But the team for that movie, they did that. The next one is even scarier, because now we're talking about demon nuns, okay? So I have to talk about Valak. And if you all do not know who that is a character from the Conjuring realm, which is so creepy, one of my favorite horror movie series. And so I just love the attention to detail that they use to create that look. The darkness around the eyes and the cracking of the face, and then we have darkness here. It's just creepy, okay? I just love how intense it is, and I can see how much thought went into that look, and that's why it lands in this video because it's an iconic look. I don't think there's any more that they could have done to make her any scarier. I think that's maximum level scary when we're talking about using makeup for a nun's costume. And it's just the makeup, it's just the look. That's what's scary, because the outfit isn't scary. Pennywise, if he didn't have on any makeup, he would still be scary. But if we took away the makeup for this character, she would just look like a regular nun. But with the makeup, that's the stuff nightmares are made of. That's all I'm saying. Next, we have to give a shout out to Carrie. Carrie is such a scary movie. And I mean, the most iconic look from that movie is definitely when she was at prom. And if you just show somebody in that type dress with flowers with their hair straight down and just throw blood on there, it's automatically associated with Carrie. So that's why I say that look is super iconic, because the silhouette of the dress was just super sleek. She looks really pretty. And then they put that blood on her and she just went off. If you all have never seen Carrie, she went off, okay? So that look is just iconic, and she's just standing there and you just feel her wrath as she's standing there. I think that scene is so intense. And it is memorable for a reason, because she's standing there, the blood is dripping off of her, and she just is embarrassed. She is mad. She is everything. And so I just love that scene. I love that look. Whoever created that look was a genius. Next is a throwback, but you have to talk about the impact that Mia Farrow had in Rosemary's Baby with that pixie cut. I mean, everything is just beautiful. I love her facial features. I love the way that the hair frames her face. Her fashion, the makeup is just simplistic, and at the same time, she's just as downright scary. That movie is so scary. If you all have never seen it, that is the scariest movie in the world to my mother. She talks about Rosemary's Baby all the time, and she hadn't even seen that movie since she was a little girl. But that was the reason why I think I started watching scary movies, because she would talk about that movie so much. I was like, you know what, let me go rent it at Blockbuster. So that's what I did, and that's how I kind of dived into loving horror movies as much as I do. But Rosemary's Baby is an iconic movie. Every look served. So in addition to her being frightened for her life and for her child, it's like she looked beautiful doing it. She could easily rock that same look in 2021 as she did back in the 60s. And that's how you know when something is iconic and it stands the test of time. And the absolute last iconic look from a horror film that I have to talk about is my personal favorite, and that is Tiff from The Bride of Chucky. I love Tiffany. I love her aesthetic. It is very much so Pam Anderson with the bleach blonde hair, with the black roots. Her makeup was smoky. Her eyebrows are thin. She has the mole here. She got the lips going black. It's glam goth. And I love that. So anytime I have on a darker lip and a darker eye, I automatically think about The Bride of Chucky. And that's because she slayed. I mean, her entire aesthetic is something that I strive to do. I love the leather jackets paired with the dresses. It's just cool. And then she had a nameplate necklace. That's just one of my absolute favorite looks and aesthetics. Her look is so 90s. It's so trashy, but I so love it. I love it so much, seriously. The tattoo right here on the titty, I love it. So these are some of my absolute favorite looks from horror movies. Let me know if you all like horror movies at all, because I know it's either a hate it or love it type thing. I love it. So let me know what you think down in the comments section. Again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you all are having a great Halloween. And if you are watching a movie today, let me know which scary movie is going to be on your screen. Or even if you're not, let me know if you're watching Hocus Pocus for the 35th time today. But I will check you all in my very next video, which will be super soon. Smooches. Bye.